Have you ever wondered how potatoes are grown? Potatoes, these humble earthy tubers, are more intriguing than you might think. They're not just another vegetable, they are a staple food in many parts of the world, and for good reason. Potatoes are packed with essential nutrients and are a versatile ingredient in the kitchen. From the classic fluffy mashed potatoes, crispy golden fries, to the hearty potato soup, there's a potato dish for every palate and occasion. But where do these versatile veggies come from? How do they transform from a tiny seed into a bountiful harvest? The journey of a potato from the ground to your dinner plate is a fascinating tale of cultivation, patience, and a little bit of farming magic. It's a process that's been perfected over centuries, across continents, and by countless farmers. So let's dive into the fascinating world of potato cultivation. Knowing when to plant potatoes is crucial for a successful harvest. Timing is everything when it comes to potato cultivation. But how do you figure out the perfect time to plant? Well, it has a lot to do with your region's climate. In cooler areas, you'll want to plant your potatoes as soon as the last frost has passed. That's typically in early spring. If you're in a warmer climate, you have a bit more flexibility. You can plant potatoes in late winter, and again in late summer for a second harvest in the fall. Temperature isn't the only factor to consider though. Soil conditions play a significant role too. Potatoes prefer well-drained, loose soil. If your soil is still soggy from winter snow or heavy spring rains, hold off on planting. Your potatoes will thank you for it. Now that we know when to plant, let's move on to how to plant. Planting potatoes is more than just burying them in the soil. It's a process that begins with selecting the right kind of seed potatoes. For a successful harvest, go for certified disease-free seed potatoes. These are small potatoes with several eyes or growth points on them. Next, we prepare the seed potatoes. About 2 days before planting, cut the larger seed potatoes into chunks, each with at least one eye. This process is known as chitting. Let these chunks sit in a cool, well-ventilated place. This step encourages the growth of sprouts, which will give your potatoes a head start once they're in the ground. Now let's turn our attention to the soil. Potatoes love a well-drained, loose soil, rich in organic matter. So add some compost or well-rotted manure to your soil and till it well. Aim for a soil pH between 6 and 7 for the best results. Once the soil is prepared, it's time to plant. Dig a trench that's about 6 inches deep and place the seed potatoes in it. Cut side down and eyes facing up. Space them about 12 inches apart to give them room to grow. If you're planting more than one row, keep the rows about 3 feet apart. After placing the potatoes, cover them with about 3 inches of soil. You don't need to fill the trench entirely. As the plants grow, you'll gradually mound more soil around the base of the plants. This process, known as hilling, prevents the potatoes from getting sunburned and turning green. Water the newly planted potatoes well, but be careful not to overwater. Potatoes prefer consistent moisture, not waterlogged soil. With our potatoes planted, let's explore how to care for them. Proper care ensures our potato plants grow healthy and strong. Now, let's delve into the world of potato plant care. Watering is essential in the life of a potato plant. The key is to keep the soil consistently moist, but never waterlogged. Overwatering can lead to rot, and nobody wants a rotten potato. On the other hand, underwatering can result in small potatoes or even a failed crop. So check the soil regularly, and water when the top inch feels dry. Next up is fertilizing. Potatoes are hungry plants and prefer a high potassium fertilizer. Apply it when you first plant the potatoes, and then again when they start to flower. This will help to ensure a robust, healthy crop. Hilling is another important practice in potato care. As the potato plant grows, pile soil around the base of the plant. Hilling prevents the potatoes from being exposed to the sun, which can make them turn green and potentially toxic. Now let's talk about problems like pests and diseases. Pests such as aphids and Colorado potato beetles can be a nuisance. Manual removal or use of organic pesticides can control these. As for diseases, early blight and potato scab are common. Applying fungicides and maintaining a balanced soil pH can help prevent these issues. With proper care, we can look forward to a bountiful harvest. The moment of truth has arrived. It's time to harvest our potatoes. Recognizing the right time to harvest is crucial. It's typically around 2 to 3 months after planting when the plant's foliage starts to yellow and die back. These are signs that the potatoes have matured and are ready for harvest. Now, on to the actual harvesting. Be gentle. We don't want to damage our precious spuds. Begin by removing the foliage, then carefully loosen the soil around the base of the plant with a garden fork. Dig around the plant, not directly into it, to avoid piercing the potatoes. Lift the plant, and let the potatoes fall freely from the roots. Remember, patience is key here. Once harvested, do not wash the potatoes. Instead, shake off any loose soil and let them dry in a dark, cool, and well-ventilated area for about 2 weeks. This curing process allows the skin to harden, reducing the chance of bruising and extending their storage life. After curing, store your potatoes in a dark, cool, and humid environment. A temperature of around 40 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Avoid storing them near apples or onions, as these can cause potatoes to spoil faster. And that, my friends, is how you go from a humble potato seed to a bountiful potato harvest.